I'm the host.
Okay.
If it doesn't let you, let me know. Okay, I've started the recording, Miss Keefe.
Okay, great. So welcome. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm going to get started. I'm going to share my screen. Oops. There we go. Okay. Hope everyone can hear me okay. Hello, I am Diana Keefe. I am the proud principal of Ferndale Lower, and I'm glad to be with you tonight. Tonight it is being recorded, so it can be viewed and listened to later on. So if you know people that missed it or wanted to attend and couldn't, it will be available through the district. I think they'll post it on the website. So also want to ask that everyone keep their screens muted, your mics muted, so that everyone can hear everything that we have to say tonight. So glad to have you with us. So like I said, principal of Ferndale Lower, we are the kindergarten through second grade building. I wanted to give a special shout out and welcome to our new incoming kindergarten families. Kindergarten is a very exciting time, and I know that all of this is new to you. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of background. So we believe, number one, safe, and in a pandemic that is more important than ever. So SAFE stands for Successful Appropriate Foundation to Educate All Children. So our safety looks a little bit different this year, not having as many students in the building, but we want them to be safe at home as well. So anything that we can do this year as a whole child school, we want to support you and your family at home and for some of the students that are coming to school as well. So learn, that's key for us, right? That's why we're coming to school. So love of learning by providing an environment where all children feel respected, nurtured, safe, and successful. So again, our environment looks a little bit different this year, being virtual, but we still want to be engaging online and supporting all of our students as we are learning towards those grade level goals. So just wanted to share a little bit about our school and let you know that this is my 7th year as a principal here in Ferndale, and my education to be a principal never included anything about a pandemic. So it is a very different time. We're in this together, working through it, solving problems, creating solutions, and just coming up with some great ideas to support staff, families, students, so we're all working together. So I promise to be the best educational leader that I can be, and I'm always here to support you and your family. So just give a shout out and let me know what I can do. So first things first, at Ferndale Lower, we have a saying, it's called Be a Star or Breathe Like a Star, and it stands for stop, take a deep breath, and relax. So I'm going to do that just to get ready for the presentation. You can do that so that you can be ready to hear everything that's said tonight. So we're going to stop, take a deep breath, and relax. Excellent. Awesome. I can't see you doing it, but I know that you're doing it with me, so I appreciate that. So growth mindset is always so important for our students as it is for parents. So as we start this year, here's just a few things. I won't read them all, but together we can do hard things. I already said together is a great word for us. Everything we're able to figure out. It might not be easy. It might be hard, but we'll figure it out together. So, and we don't have all the answers to get started, but we'll figure it out. So it's all about continuing forward, moving forward, working together. Communication is key. So, and you'll hear that a couple times tonight. We have to talk. We have to talk with each other, talk with our teachers, talk with our students. So let's just all have a growth mindset as we get ready for this brand new school year, a school year like none other, right? Never been through this before. So let's talk schedule a little bit. So the schedule went out on Monday. I hope you received it. It was sent out, or the website actually was sent out via Remind, but it is on the Ferndale Schools website, along with a lot of other things. You can find answers to questions about so many different things. food and MyStar and just all the things that we're doing this year. So in that virtual schedule, and I'm going to click on it and share that. So all of the highlighted boxes, we'll be using Google Meets for that. Google Meets is what we used in the springtime. We're using Zoom tonight for this meeting, but Zoom will not be used for the students. So any of the highlighted areas are for the times that the synchronous instruction where they will be online with their teacher. Synchronous means in sync together at the same time. So synchronous means that you're in sync with your teacher. Your teacher will be online and they will be doing some whole group. So the big blue areas in the middle is where they'll be doing their mini lessons. Some mornings will be reading, some will be math, and then the opposite in the afternoon. So mini lessons, 20, 25 minutes. Some may go a little longer, some might be a little shorter. And then after that, your teacher will have you in small groups and you might relearn something. There might be some reteaching. Maybe there'll be some enrichment to a concept. And that will be the time, again, that you'll work with your teacher for a small group. And then all of the times that are in white on the schedule are asynchronous. And that means that that is time for you to either be online with a program or work on a project that your teacher has asked you to work on, or all of your workbooks will be sent home. So that might be a time for some paper and pencil as well. Also, lunch and recess, downtime, refocus time, those are all important things that we need to do all through the day. Also, I will talk a little bit later about the essential classes. So, and there was one question about our schedule, wanting to know if first graders would all have the same schedule at the same time, same time block, and that is true, they will. The schedule's the same for K-5. Grade levels are working really hard together though to keep lessons in line with each other so that students that are in learning pods, I've heard that that's being put together all through the community, which I think is fantastic for you to work together for that. But grade levels are working harder than ever to make sure that their lessons are sequenced and stay together. So, okay, I'm gonna get out of this and go back to here. Oops. Okay, I don't see my questions. There we go. Okay, first 2 weeks, back to school at Lower. That document was shared. That was just a welcome back letter. So it says, will there be evening meet and greet? So let me go back to the first 2 weeks. The first 2 weeks of school are a time for us to build community. At school, or when we're in school, we talk about the first 4 days being so important about building that community. And we actually at Lower extend it to the first 6 weeks. It takes 6 weeks for us to build that culture, get together, get to know each other. So we, in essence, we say we go slow to go fast. So if we build that culture and get ready, then we can have deeper learning later on. So the first 2 weeks of school this year will be go slow to go fast. It will be meet and greets that your teacher will set up. So every morning there will be a morning meeting at 9, and it might last 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and they're going to be getting to know each other. And then the rest of the day will be spent meeting with families. We have school supplies that we're handing out. We have all of the consumable workbooks to give to you. They want to just get to know you, talk with your child, and also do some assessments. Now, there are some teachers that are not comfortable or not able to come into school, and so they will be doing all of those virtual. And I bet there's some family members that are not comfortable with having their child come to school as well. And that was evident in the district survey that we put out. So if you do not wish to come into school and meet your teacher, or if your teacher cannot come into school, they will meet with you virtually, and we will do the assessments online as well. And we can say hello and build culture online just like we could in person. So supplies will be handed out. Now, one question that was asked a lot is, will any of these meet and greets be in the evening? So I have asked teachers, or I will ask teachers, to work around schedules and do the best they can and make some flex time. So maybe they come in later, they don't come in until 1 in the afternoon and do some meet and greets after 5. I do know that many of our families are working, and I will ask teachers to be as flexible as they can. So yes, we will try to accommodate you as best as we can. It's ideal if you could come in during the day, but I know that everyone can't. I work, so I probably wouldn't be able to do that either. So we will have school pictures that first week of school. So beginning August 31st, all during the day, it will be a drop-in school picture. So you can come at any time. You can come when you're meeting and greeting with your teacher or at a different time. And students only will be admitted into the school, probably 2 or 3 at a time, and they will have their picture taken in the gym. And then they will pop right back out and meet you, but they will have their pictures taken. I think it's important and a rite of passage, especially for our kindergartners, to have that first day of school picture or the school pictures during that first week. What will the students be expected to do the rest of the time during those first weeks after that 45-minute meeting every day? So that is a great question. So students from lower will come and meet their teacher. So that is one thing that they will do that week, but they will also complete those assessments, and the rest of the time will be spent organizing their materials and finding their learning space, looking over their workbooks that will be given to them, completing assignments sent on Seesaw, and I'm going to talk a little bit about Seesaw later. They can look around and explore the websites that will be shared because their teacher will have a spot, they'll have a spot. Art, music, and gym, those websites will be up and running, and I will share those links in our newsletter. There also might be some get to know you projects that the teachers will be delivering or asking your students to do. So there will be some work, but those first several weeks of school really are always spent getting to know each other, building culture, and getting ready for the school year. And online is no different. There's just a lot for us to adjust to. So like I said, slow to go fast. Next questions are about instruction. So, will any of the lessons be recorded for the kids to meet or view at a later time if they cannot attend the meet? So due to privacy laws, we cannot record the lessons of students when students are on as well. So our teachers will always be willing to work with students who may have missed a lesson, just as they would in our classrooms if a child was absent for an illness or something like that. Now, some teachers and grade level teams also might be recording some lessons, some reteach of lessons that could be viewed on Friday or viewed anytime if you missed a lesson. I know they've asked for an iPod stand or an iPad stand so that they could videotape lessons within the classroom, and there were teachers in today getting their room all set up for where they would do those meetings and recordings. So I know that there will be some opportunities for that. Will there be a point in the school year where in-person learning will be an option? And what if I do not want to return? So the plan adopted by the Board of Ed calls for students to potentially return for the start of second semester, which is January 19th. However, since the board adopted the plan, the state of Michigan has passed new legislation, which requires our return to learn plan to be reauthorized monthly. So as such, each month, at each board meeting, each month, they will discuss potentially and could potentially amend the return to school plan. So, but right now they have made a commitment for us to be safe at home and for us not to return until January 19th. Now, if they make a decision that we are returning January 19th and you are not comfortable with that, then we will work on a virtual plan for you. We want your education, your child's education to continue. So we will handle that as it comes. But we certainly know that all of you have big responsibilities at home in keeping everyone safe as we do at school. So we want to honor you, we want to listen to you, respect you, and we will work on a plan to keep the learning going. How will resource or special services be structured and delivered this year? So students that have an IEP, and an IEP is individual education plan, students that might need something a little different, there will still be services. So speech and resource room and specialized instruction in a different classroom or social work. All of those service providers will be working with the classroom teacher. They might provide services one-on-one in a chat room. They might be with the teacher and do a small group, so do some co-teaching. They also might ask you to come up to school if you're available and willing to do that. So we want to make sure that we're able to provide all of the services for all of our students in a way that they need it. Just whatever the learning is that they need, that's how it will be delivered. So a lot of different ways, and you will all be in touch. If you have students that have an IEP, someone will be in touch with you. Okay, I feel like I'm talking really fast. I'm sorry. Next questions were about attendance and online learning. What if my child has to miss some of the Google Meets? Is that considered an absence? Is there lenience for things like technology issues? There are always technology issues, and I will say that technology has never been one of my strengths, but boy, have I learned a lot lately. So I'm right there with you. Sometimes I have those issues, and yes, sometimes you can't get online. So we definitely will have a lot of grace. So virtual attendance is different than in-person attendance. And our teachers will work with you to make sure that your child is on track. And we understand that there are issues with the internet, sometimes doesn't work. There's also family commitments, appointments that you need to keep, and sometimes just conflicts with the schedule. So if you can't always get online, we understand. In fact, I think that not everyone is going to get online every day. We have natural absences when we're in school, so I'm sure we'll have it when we're online as well. So assignments will always be posted. Students can work at their own pace within that week. That's why Friday is a catch-up day for them to do those types of things, especially for teachers that will be doing some tape lessons or providing. There's a lot of online resources where lessons are already taped for you. They'll be sharing those links with you. But the main thing, like I said at the beginning, is communication. Let your teachers know, hey, we have to go out of town. We're not able to be online today, or we're having technology issues or whatever. Just be open with the teachers, myself, so that we can, again, make sure that we're moving in the right direction. We want to see your face online and in those Google Meets, but sometimes it's not always practical. Sometimes we have to miss. So that's understandable. But we're going to do the best we can and attend as much as we can and complete as much of the work that we can. What is a learning management system? So a learning management system is a landing page for all of our students to begin with. And from there, different programs that the district offers will be available. So at this time, some of the K2 programs are IXL, Raz Kids, Head Sprout. Some of those might be familiar with you if you're a first or second grade parent. And across the district, we have something called Accelerate Education. And that is all subjects and all levels. And that will be part of the district as well. We at lower probably will not use that as often as some of the higher grades, but it will be available to us if we need it. So, and then also K5 will be using Seesaw, and that is a program similar to Dojo. If you know Dojo, it's a communication system, but they can communicate and give you direct links and direct assignments to what they're working on. So that will be shared, and then you're able to do those assignments and you're able to return them to the teacher so that you can receive feedback and, know the teacher can know what you need to work on or what you're being great at. So that's a learning management system. assessment and testing. Will the usual standardized tests be given this year? So yes, M-STEP is a test that begins in 3rd grade. And right now it is going to be given, but the Department of Education has applied for a federal waiver. But as of this time, testing will continue. There is, however, a new state plan that just came out this past weekend, and it requires an assessment be done in the first 9 weeks. So one of the assessments that we've been doing in the past couple years is the NWEA. And so that will most likely be given within the first 9 weeks and then again late winter or spring. So that is a standardized assessment. But also, like I said, in those first 2 weeks, we'll be asking you to come in if you're comfortable, and we'll do some of our usual assessments online, letters and sounds and reading. We may ask you to read a story on RazKids, and then you will upload it to your teacher so your teacher can hear you read while you're at home. There's also a brand new assessment this year for kindergarten. It's a kindergarten readiness assessment, and we believe that that will be on hold for this year. But that is a new one that no one knows about, that parents don't know about yet, but our teachers have been trained. But to my knowledge, it'll probably be on hold because it requires a lot of observation. We like to play at school. There's a lot of learning through play, and that assessment sees what the kids are doing during their playtime. So since we can't do that at your house, that probably will be on hold for this year. Workload and working adults, and this is a tough question, and my heart goes out to you. Right now, my children are all older and pretty self-sufficient, but I understand being a mom or a dad or a grandma or a grandpa or aunt or uncle of a kindergartner, a 1st grade or a 2nd grade, they can't be left alone. They're not self-sufficient most of the time. It's hard for them to get online, but I do know that they will learn that. So we want to make sure that we're communicating. We want to rely on our community and our families. We want to be the best that we can and work together. Structure and schedules and grace, that will help a lot and go a long way. I have heard that there are many families in our community that are putting together some pods and trying to structure it together. And I think that that's just wonderful, just another way, something else coming out of the pandemic, just working together and relying on community, which is so important. So we do know that eyes on text is so important. So just having your students read as much as they can when times are tough for you and you can't get them online will be really helpful. So we're in this together. I know it's not a perfect answer. I know I wish I could say that I could watch all of your children, but just know that we have a lot of grace and we're willing to really work together and support you, because it is tough. And I do understand that. I've talked with a lot of families and I know it's hard. Essential classes. So essential classes at Ferndale Lower, music, art, and gym. And I know at Upper they also have Spanish, but we do not have Spanish here. And we are functioning or running our essential classes a little bit different than Lower. So a little bit different than Fuel. So at Lower, we will have drop-in times. So music, art, and gym have all been scheduled during the times when students are not online with their teacher. So you can drop into those classes, and the schedule has not come out yet, but it will. And you can drop in anytime you want and attend. So if your child loves art, maybe they want to go to art twice a week, because typically in school they only go to art once a week. Or maybe they want to check out the art website and do some of the projects and upload pictures. So art, music, and gym will be drop-in. The exceptions are: 1, Mr. McMillan is gifted and talented in the strings. So he will be doing a class once a week on Wednesdays, and that will be open to any elementary student. So anyone in kindergarten through 5th grade will be able to drop in, and he will share some of his skills with you and do some teaching. You'll be able to listen to some strings music, and I know that it will be a fantastic learning opportunity. So if we were in school, we wouldn't be able to have that opportunity, but since we're online, we're able to. So music once a week with Mr. McMillan for strings, and then also all of our kindergarten friends. We have something here at Lower called music therapy, and music therapy is run by Miss G, Miss Grammatico. And if you are in kindergarten, you will have one assigned time during the week of 30 minutes for music therapy. Music therapy is a time for singing, getting to know each other. A lot of social and emotional learning takes place during that music therapy. And this is our 3rd year with the program. And we just love Miss G and all that she offers to our kindergarten families, because she typically does not teach kindergartners during their kindergarten year except for music therapy, because she typically teaches the 1st and 2nd graders. So that's a little bit about essential classes. Technology. So here's the big one. We have to have technology to do online learning, to do virtual learning, right? So the first question was, do I need to set up an email for my child who's going into kindergarten so they can get on to everything? You will automatically get an email, and in your MyStar account will be your password for that. So automatically when you're enrolled in a class, you receive a Ferndale email. So you will be all set, and that will get you into everything that you need for Ferndale schools. Will there be an educational session or a technology guide for families on how to do all of this and how to set up your own computer? Absolutely. So we are working on classes that will be online, video for you, screencast so we can show you, and instructions will be available, written instructions as well to support you. We also have a lot of people on staff that can support you, but we will have also some frequently asked questions about technology, phone numbers to contact Oakland schools if your computer's not working, and we will definitely have support for you in learning about what all of the programs are. Where and when can I pick up a device? If you haven't already, because we've had several pickup days, the pickups are always at Ferndale High School. We have 2 more days coming up, August 24th and 25th from 8 to 4. There was a link that was sent out for a form, but if you're not able to find that link or do that form, you could show up on those days and talk with them about your computer needs for the district.
Ms. Keefe, I'm going to add as well, there will be additional days forthcoming as well. These are just the August dates that have been published.
Okay, great. Thanks. Good to know. And then there is another day on August 26th, and that's a great one because it goes into the evening for the working parents. You have until 7:30 on the 26th, so that will be helpful. And Mrs. Jeffrey said additional dates will be forthcoming. So that's something else that those first 2 weeks will help us get settled. We want to make sure that when we start those lessons on September 14th, that all of our class families are ready to go. Okay, that went fast. I hope everyone was able to hear everything, but now we'll take some questions from the chat.
Okay.
Miss Keefe,
Yep.
Can you hear me?
Yes, can you put your question in the chat?
I can try. I'm not very good at this.
If you'd like, go ahead.
Go
ahead. We can start on the chat after.
Okay. In regards to picture day, how many children are going to be allowed inside, and per children, how many people are going to be watching them to make sure that they social distance properly and keep their masks on properly, because obviously they're going to be really excited to see each other. and I'm just worried about them, you know, inadvertently
Yeah.
breaking the rules, so to speak.
Sure.
So Mrs. Keefe, there were a few, thank you. If you could remute too during the answers. So I'll answer that, Mrs. Keefe, as there are a few questions in the chat and that related to fuel as well. And our secretaries work directly with Kaiser. So first of all, it's not like children are lined up. Everybody's going to be meeting with their teachers independently. And when they're done, they will then head towards that area. We have all of our support staff who are not gen ed teachers who will be there supporting outdoors, and they would lead the one student in at a time, get their picture, and head out. So it is not, it's not like a line like you would see on a normal picture day, a line of students.
So it's like
floating
one
through
student. I think
view.
I'm on the chat now.
Yes, so it'll only be 1 or 2 students going in at a time. They have one door that they enter, they take their picture, turn around and go out the other door and then meet you outside. So it will not be a big group of students inside. And they will have their mask on as they enter. They will only take their mask off to have their picture taken.
In addition, the question in the chat that goes with this as well is are we able to do that outside? We tried the picture company that we work with year to year and have our contract with. They will only do indoor, but they have very strict social distancing policies. I will put the name of the company in the chat, so you can also call them directly if you still have further questions about their policies and how they will do it. And then in addition to that, they have a series of things, but we do want you to know that it is not required. We'd love for you to have the pictures taken, but it's just an opportunity for those that are comfortable. We know that not everybody is comfortable going into a building, and so it is not a required element. It is an optional for the parents. Sorry, Ms. Keefe, I lost the chat there. The next question was, I know you said materials will be provided. Will you be sharing a list of suggested materials that will not be for too long?
So I guess I'm not understanding that. We do have a supply list out, and we are providing most of the school supplies. There is a recommended list for each grade that include headphones if that's what your child would like to have. But we will be providing everything. When you come for those meet and greets, we have tubs, we have pencil boxes with the supplies that PTA is putting together for us. Thank you, PTA. And all of the consumables for reading, for math, the workbooks, pencil sharpener, all of that.
So Mrs. Keefe, would you say there's anything we're not providing that would be necessary? I think everything that's required we're providing, correct?
Right. Everything that you need at home. I've just asked you to provide a safe, quiet place for your student to be online with your child, and the district is even providing Chromebooks if that's what you need.
The next question is, I missed kindergarten roundup. What do I do?
Well, if you have any questions, you can reach out to me. That's what this is all about. Kindergartners will be placed in the classroom, and kindergarten is great. Your kindergarten teacher will support you. But we did not have roundup this year in May, so we all kind of missed it. But we have had 2 opportunities for families to come in and ask questions. But if you have more questions, just let me know.
The next question is, will Seesaw and the system be linked, the system that is similar to Dojo be linked to Canvas, or will we need to use separate apps for those?
No, Seesaw will be in Canvas, and Seesaw is very similar to Dojo, so you should be able to know how to maneuver that, but it will be linked in Canvas.
We will also be offering a series of parent trainings on all of our systems at the district level, because it is one system for the district.
Right.
The next question is, I may have missed this. How are supplies being distributed, including consumable materials?
So the first 2 weeks of school at Lower, your teacher will set up an appointment with you Hopefully they will make accommodations and set up some evening times as well for you. If you're not able to come in or the teacher is not comfortable coming in, then they will do it virtually, and I will have the supplies here for you to pick up in a drive-by manner. But we will have all supplies for you those first 2 weeks of school.
The next question is, what screen time range, including synchronous and online activities like IXL, can we expect?
So right now, teachers are teaching synchronously for 3 hours a day. However, about an hour and a half or maybe even 2 hours of that is small group. So they will be with your child in a whole group for about an hour for 2 mini lessons, a reading lesson and a math lesson. And then they'll take students into small groups. So maybe another 20 minutes, so maybe an hour and a half. And then the asynchronous time, that can be paper pencil, that can be reading a chapter book, that could be going back online if that's what you wish, or watching a video. So that is going to be your time as a parent to make that decision. How much more time will they be on?
The next question is the start time for morning meetings class times at 8:15 or 9 a.m.? I've seen it published both ways.
So for the first 2 weeks of school, it is at 9 a.m. So from 9 to 9:45, those first 2 weeks of school. And then I believe, Miss Jeffrey, I think that some of those times are 8:15 after that September 14th date.
The next question is, will there be online classes on August 31st, or will it be strictly meet and greet and photos?
First day of school is August 31st, and that we'll start our school year with a meet and greet with your teacher online as a whole class family at 9 o'clock. So from August 31st for that first week, and then the whole following week following Labor Day will be 9 o'clock meetings each day. And then starting Monday, September 14th, will be the regular synchronous schedule that has been posted on the website.
The next question is, are kindergarten parents supposed to know what Seesaw, Dojo, and Canvas are?
No, and that's okay. So that's what those first 2 weeks is all about, helping you, supporting you. I want to mention too that the Elementary Connections group is working on getting some family circles together to help each other, be mentors, teach each other. So we'll be rolling that out so that you have other parents that can show you, talk you through it, but also your teacher, myself. So no, you're not expected to know it all now, but you will know it soon. You'll know Seesaw and Canvas for sure. Dojo, we are not using this year.
Okay, the next question is, will the small groups be regularly scheduled with the same group of children? And then the follow-up is, do the students stay online while they wait for their group to begin?
So one thing that Zoom does is Zoom has these meetings that you can go off to and meet in small groups. Google Meets does not have that capability, but we're hoping that it is updated soon. So in the meantime, students can mute themselves and they can take their picture off. They could go do something else and their teacher will say, you know, come back at 9:30 or come back at 10, or they'll set that schedule up. So it's all going to be up to the teacher and how they run those small groups. And a small group might only meet 2 times a week or 3 times a week. So that's what some of those assessments will tell us, what information is needed for those students.
We do believe that Google is sending an update out in October when we would then have those breakouts. So we're pretty excited about that as a K-5 step, because that allows us some more collaborative time with the students synchronously as well in small groups.
Definitely.
The next question, Mrs. Keefe, is, could you explain the schedule for logging into classes?
I'm not sure if you're talking about how to get online, but you will use your student's email and password through the system for the district. I'm not sure if that's what you mean or if you mean how to schedule and how to get your teacher. I schedule classes. I'm finishing that up right now, and you will receive your schedule, which is your teacher, next Wednesday evening. I don't know if I answered your question or not, Mrs. Tripp. Okay.
Okay. All right. The next question is, could someone explain the synchronous, this is someone who's just joined. Could someone explain the synchronous schedule and how soon we will find out what group our student is in?
Okay, so the group that your student is in will be your teacher group, your grade level group. And your teacher will be, oh, Mrs. Tripp, go ahead.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, you did answer the question. What I wanted to know was like just the timing of like when their classes will be scheduled, but I guess like you said, the teachers will be having their schedule regarding that. It's just I will be having two children to be paying attention to.
Mm-hmm.
So
the schedule is on the Ferndale website, and that is
okay.
a schedule for K-5, and that's what we're starting with. And, you know, like I said, we're all new to this, so
I understand.
we're going to do the best. Yep.
Okay,
We'll help
thank
you through
you.
it. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. So I think I was finishing about the synchronous schedule. Again, that is online, and there are, the grouping will be your teacher, and then each day your teacher will do 2 mini lessons, one for reading, one for math, and then social studies and science will all be woven in there. And your teacher will direct your student to what group they're going to be in and when they'll be meeting. And that is usually flexible and fluid, like it changes as new learnings occur. So we want to make sure that we are supporting students right where they're at and with the information that they need. Sometimes students will get into school and not have their letters and sounds, and we begin teaching and they just take off and they soar really fast, and then they're put into a different group.
The next question, sorry, I've gotten lost here in the chat again. How do we find out what our child's email address is?
So your child's email address, like I said, is was given to you, or it's in the system, in the MyStar system when you enrolled. So once you're completely enrolled, you can check out MyStar and you will find your email and password. The password does follow a scripted sequence. It's the first initial of your first name, first initial of your last name, and then the 6 digits for your child's birthday. So, and they should use their own email and their own password to log in so that their name appears and you have all of the safety and security of Ferndale schools.
The next question we have is, when can we expect schedules from speech and OT? And when will we be told whether in-person speech or OT will be offered to my child? Will these services only be scheduled during asynchronous time? Thank you for working through all of this.
Okay, so all of, first we're finalizing the class list, and then from the class list, all of the service providers will start to find their students and begin working with their general education teacher and figure out the schedules from there. With having the same schedule right now, the synchronous time that we have together, you're right, they most likely will be doing the services during the asynchronous time. However, if they can team teach or pull groups during that synchronous time to offer those speech, OT, PT, all of those therapies, it will be done at that time as well. So I can't tell you exactly when it is. And then according to the IEP, the individual education plan, that's what dictates those students that need to come in for services and those students that can have those services provided virtually. So service providers will be working really hard those first couple days, checking in with their kids, their families. Many of them are calling families now to set some things up. So stay tuned. You'll get information.
The next question is, I'm not sure if this was addressed yet. Will the assigned teacher have a Zoom conference with all of the children's parents from the assigned class on or around the first day of school to give us introductions on what the teacher expects from the parents in order for parents to best assist our child's learning and education?
Okay, great question. So it'll all be done on Google Meets. The teachers will be meeting with your students at 9 every morning on Google Meets, but that's what the meet and greets are for. So that will be a great time to talk with your teacher and work through some of that and get some of the expectations. However, we are working with Fuel right now to set some dates to have a virtual open house or a curriculum night. Typically it's the first week of school. I don't know that it'll be that week, but we're working to have a virtual meeting like this, and so that you can talk with your teacher just like this, just like I am. So your teacher can talk to all of the families, all of the students in the, all of the parents in the class family. So yes, there will be a time to assist you with that and support you, and also trainings to help with all of that.
The next question is, do IRIP's reading interventions continue this school year?
Yes, we do have all of our reading specialists and math specialists back. All of that will continue, and that will be based on data. So we will be looking at those assessments that the students are completing with their teacher those first 2 weeks of school.
And currently with the IRIP question, the PA 306 reading bill is still in effect for this year. The legislature has not let us know yet about, much like the M-STEP, everything is still scheduled and we're sort of on the legislative end. The next question. Will students who haven't had speech therapy still be able to be evaluated for it and added if they do need it?
Absolutely. Talk with your child's teacher, and if your child's teacher makes some observations as well, and if we feel like that an IEP needs to happen and that's the next step, then certainly evaluations can continue during this virtual time.
Okay, that has us currently at the end of the chat, Mrs. Keefe.
Great questions from everyone. Any other things that you're thinking about, wondering? I want to let you know that the website has a lot of answers to questions. Reaching out to other families, that can support you. I am more than happy to answer questions. I've answered a few on Remind today and on email, so happy to do that. Any other questions? I will finish. I'll go back to sharing my screen if not. Well, if you have a question, go ahead and put in the chat. I'm going to share my screen just for a minute and then I'll come back. So I just want to final reminder and end with that growth mindset. It's great for students, but it's really great for us parents too. We're going to get through this, and it might be hard, but we'll get through it. Remember that you can always be a star, and take that deep breath. Those of you that have first and second graders, they know that well. So maybe they need to be reminded at certain times when it's frustrating or hard. But together, we will do this. So this is our team picture from last year. No, we didn't violate social distancing this year. This is from last year. So,
Mrs. Keefe, it's not showing. Can you try sharing your screen again?
Oh, I'm sorry.
And we actually, while you're doing that, there was one additional question. Are all children added to the Remind app? Ms. Russell, could you clarify, do you mean parents of the children or the children themselves?
Well, everyone is automatically added to the Remind app every night through MyStar. So you might want to check your settings in MyStar and make sure that those are all set to what you want them to be, if it's email, if it's text, and then you should be receiving them. They're updated every night.
Yeah, the question is children. I believe, Ms. Russell, we're still learning the system. I believe we are able to select all children we can message children. But I'm still trying to figure out if that goes through via email. So that's a question we'll follow up with Bill Good and let you know.
Right, and I probably will not be selecting children when I send my messages. My messages will go to teachers and families. So, okay, if you have any other questions, reach out, please use email, remind, happy to answer any questions. If you felt that this was helpful, spread the word. Next Wednesday night, I'll be doing a repeat at 7. We'll just be answering different questions in the chat. So I appreciate all of you being here tonight. It's nice to see lots of names I haven't seen in a while. But yeah, ready to answer any other questions that you might have.
It looks like we are good in the chat, Ms. Keefe.
Good.
A lot
Okay.
of thank yous.
Yeah, thanks for attending tonight. It was really great to see you. So, okay, have a great weekend and reach out. Thank you, everyone. Good night. Hi, friends. Oh, look at all your faces. Hello, hello. Nice to see you.